everyone, welcome back to Flying Solo with Kat, and today I will be talking about episode 6 and episode 7 of The Bad Batch. Before we get started, I want to say that there will be spoilers in this video, and also I have a question for you guys. How do you feel about taking a break kind of in between these Bad Batch episodes? I'm loving Bad Batch. Don't take this as I'm not enjoying it. I am actually really enjoying it, but it does seem a bit repetitive, almost like my when the Ahsoka series came out, and I posted videos for that. I don't know if you guys like these videos. If you don't, I go off of views. Um, so they're getting views and they're not. So I don't, compared to other videos, they're staying about the same. So if you want me to continue with Bad Batch, hit the like. That would be honestly a great way. But also let me know if you are interested in hearing kind of other Star Wars stories. I really want to talk about my celebration experience. And especially before I go to Star Wars night this year, I would like to talk about my experience last year and what it was like cosplaying at that event. So I will probably, hopefully, do that one soon. So please let me know what you would like to see from me, and because I will take that feedback and I will definitely put it into these episodes because I appreciate y'all, sticking in and listening to me talk about the amazing world of Star Wars every Sunday. So thank you all. I really hope you enjoyed this video and enjoy. So we start off with episode 6. I kind of forgot that this was a two-parter, so I'm going to talk about episode 6, then talk about episode 7, then talk about what I think is going to be the next episode, episode 8. So for episode 6, we get to see Rio Churchy, my love. Oh my gosh, I was praying that we were going to see her again because she is one of my, I think, favorite Clone Wars characters I've loved her every time she's on screen, but like even more now. Every time I see her, I just love her even more. And so I was very happy to see her. Senator Singh from the Raxus Senator is there meeting with her, and Rex is kind of their escort, and Rex is just cool. He's always been cool, but man, just looks sick. And of course, the assassin is after them, and we learn to find that the assassin is not Tech. I literally put assassin not Tech, question mark, question mark, question mark. I think we're getting another Murrock situation. If y'all remember in Ahsoka, how everyone theorized who Murrock was. Was he an evil Cal Kestis? What was his plan? And he was just a Night Sister magic ghost thing that turned to ashes when Sabine killed him. So, that being said, I don't think the assassin, the first one, let me specify that, and then I'll talk more about that in episode 7. The first assassin that we see is not Tech. I don't think that was Tech, but the one that we see in episode 7 and later in episode 6, I'll get to that in a bit. But I do think it is another Murrock situation. But it's cool to see. I think the suit is really cool and kind of how Rex handles that. There's a base camp full of rogue clones, which I think is really cool. And we learned that there are multiple assassins, which I like. I'm glad there isn't just one, so we kind of like, it was a Murrock situation, but there's multiple. And it's very clear early on that they're taking clones from Tantus, and they're experimenting on them and doing all of that. So Omega, she is on their list. So, of course, Rex, sends a message to them, and of course they gotta protect Omega. But she still doesn't know what M count is. The audience knows, which I think is really funny. It's metachlorians. That's what it is. But I'm wondering if they're going to kind of do a 180 and say, no, M count was something else. It's something, totally something else. So just maybe an M count is like a specific cloning thing that was the only way that every clone has an M count. But I'm 99.9% sure it's metachlorians. I'm just wondering how it fits in with Omega and her and Rex not knowing it. Rex kind of gave a nod and saying I've heard of it before, but I'm truly not sure. And he didn't give more information on that, which I was a little disappointed in, but whatever. Omega copying Crosshair with the toothpick was so cute, and I love how, I mean, Crosshair and Hunter, they're all her dads, but I feel like they're the two that they have the most influence on her, and I kind of love that because Crosshair and Hunter are so starkly different. And for Omega to have those role models is honestly a great story beat. And I love that we're getting to see more of her kind of changing into not Crosshair, but kind of going away from just the hunter and becoming her own person with kind of Crosshair's influence. Um, Echo gives Omega an energy crossbow. It looks sick. I love it. I would love to honestly kind of have that weapon hanging on my wall. I'm on a cosplay kick right now, so forgive me if I'm talking about costumes a lot, but the energy crossbow actually looked so cool. I would love if Galaxy's Edge kind of started. Dude, okay, Disney, listen to me. Sell energy crossbows. Like, do the classic, like, Chewbacca. Well, technically that's a bowcaster, but it's kind of the same thing as crossbow. You sell the Chewbacca bowcaster, which would be sick. But then you also do Omega's like energy bow for like the kids and like, oh my gosh, I could just imagine like little kids running around with the energy bows. That would look sick. That would be so cool. Anyway, Disney, listen to me. So that was really cool. And then Crosshair actually knew about the assassins. And okay, Crosshair, we've been it's been a little rocky, but don't you think that would have been good to tell the group if you wanted them to trust you? Like, and I do think the only reason that he didn't tell them was because they tried to do it to him. And I think he's either scared that they're going to see that in him, but it didn't work, or they're going to, think, oh my God, it's still on him and then kill him. Right? So I think that was why he was hesitant, but now like the Bad Batch does not trust him at all, which is not good. So anyway, the assassin blows up the camp and kills a whole bunch of clones, which I was really sad about. And they're trapped with Rex and a couple of the other clones with Hunter, Crosshair, and Wrecker. So that was where episode 6 left off. I was like, ooh, what's gonna happen? But this episode was really cool at like kind of getting the clones a bit more, not closure, definitely not closure, but seeing kind of what has happened to these rogue clones that were able to get away. And I like seeing just Rex there kind of in that commanding role, and the other clones not trusting Crosshair because of, what he did, who he had killed, and it's totally valid for them. I want to just give Crosshair a big hug and be like, it's okay, I know you've made mistakes, you're fine. Um, but that's not how the world works, right? A lot of people hold grudges, and after them seeing him act with Omega, they see the true him. But I'm kind of getting into episode 7. So that was the end of episode 6. Loved the episode so much, but episode 7 is where it's at. So at the start of episode 7, we see that they're clearly stranded, and I wanted to comment on the physicality of the assassin. This is where my tech theory starts to kind of get brought up again. The other assassin did kind of have the body shape of Tech that died. And I was like, oh shoot, okay, maybe that's just how the suit is built. Maybe that's not anything. But they always have. I think this one was actually kind of the writers saying, hey, it's not Tech, it's just a rando clone. It is what it is. Because he was terrible with technology, he could not move boulders. Quite honestly, Tech was never a sniper. That's not really what he did. Even if he was genetically enhanced, I don't see that being really like Tech, but he would have to do what he had to do. But it was interesting when like his wrist comm broke, he didn't like try to fix it or whatever. So Yeah, I think it's still a possibility that Tech could come in as an assassin, but I don't think it's the two assassins we have seen. Unfortunately, I'm still holding out hope. I am. I know it's crazy and people Bad Batch Twitter gets so mad at people for speculating, but I think it's the funniest thing and did not take it too seriously, especially when I'll go back to the Murrock situation of, I was putting out tweets of like, "Oh yeah, no, that's Hux and Murrock's suit." Like that's which is impossible, but there is a small percent chance that it could be that. And you know what? That keeps the community flowing. And it keeps people kind of having fun with this world and speculating. And even if it's not gonna, be true, or, you don't like that, whatever, Tech's dead, let him stay dead. Sure, I don't mind if he doesn't come back in the season or at all and he stays dead because of the impact that he had on Clone Force 99. But isn't it fun to like speculate? And I see the fun in it, and I see the joy in just kind of being like, yeah, no, that's Tech. So, I don't think it is Tech for the ones that we've seen, but I think it's very possible that Tech could become an assassin that we see in the future, and then the Bad Batch try to save him. So that is that. The Empire arrives, and again, because Crosshair is like just really good with Omega and kind of teases her and all of that, the other clones see that and are like, "Oh wow, you're totally changed and different," which I think needed a bit more time to kind of settle. But honestly, Omega does that to a person. I would forgive Crosshair in an instant if Omega liked him, and that's kind of how Wrecker felt as well. Omega trusts you, so I trust her, and I'm gonna trust you then. And that's exactly what he said to him. He's like, I don't really forgive you, but Omega sees the good in you, and that's all that matters to me. So, that's great for Crosshair. Basically, what I heard, and I unfortunately can't remember who exactly said it, but they said that the assassin is Crosshair's shadow of the Empire. And, we learn that Crosshair literally was to become an assassin but failed, or was a failed attempt. So their fight, in the river and all of that, and him kind of sacrificing himself, he needed to go through that fight to kill the assassin because that was kind of his last tie to the Empire, his last tie to Tantus, to Dr. Hemlock, to that facility. So I loved people kind of bringing up the semblance of the assassin, and that it was Crosshair's inner demon kind of coming out there and wanting to hurt him. And I thought that was quite honestly beautifully worded, way better than what I just did. But, it makes sense. It's who he was kind of forced to be, and him kind of fighting with that quote unquote inner demon was a great visual and really nice to see. Wolf and Rex, my boys, they finally reunite. And I know we see Wolf in Rebels, so I wasn't too surprised to see him here, but it was nice to kind of see his progression into going against the Empire, that he wasn't like Rex and just, did not execute Order 66, that he chose to stay with the Empire, but he finally realized what they were doing and kind of goes back with the rebels to help, or with Rex to help the rebels, which is great, honestly. So it was nice to see that, and that interaction was beautiful. And the commando droids, ooh, I said droids. That's funny. I do love commando droids, but the commando troopers are really cool, and I love seeing them a lot more, and I think they're going really hard uh, on those. So I love those. And if the assassin survived, or even, or I believe he did survive, then it still could be Tech. I'm still holding out, but it is what it is. I've already gone over that too many times. But overall, these two episodes were really good. I like seeing Rex again, but as I said, I don't know where it's gonna go. Someone mentioned that or it was actually Star Wars Explained, go check them out, please, that they believe that if a clone kind of shows any remorse to what they have done or starts questioning orders, right, they get sent straight to Tantus and get tested on. And because the Empire finds them expendable, we're just going to have people enlist that are clearly loyal to us and kind of, drop you out. There's no point in keeping you. Because realistically, clones are obsolete now. They have people, I mean, we saw that everywhere, but they have people enlisting. They have droids kind of going around and doing different things that clones are obsolete. And a lot of the clones became, Imperial guards or, a lot more higher up than your rando stormtrooper. And we're even starting to see kind of the stormtrooper masks come into play as we go through this. So it was good to see Wolf. But I'm also scared of what's gonna happen to him. I know he survives and he's fine, but will he get sent to Tantus? And Rex and the Bad Batch have to go save him, or what will happen? I think our end game is Tantus. I think the end game is bombing Tantus. I think we're gonna see Saw Gerrera again, and Tantus is gonna go up. I think Saw Gerrera is going to just blow it up again and not really think about the clones inside. And while Clone Force 99 is going to try to get the clones out of there and get them to safety, and then everyone kind of lives happily ever after. I don't know how Asajj Ventress plays into it. I think with the M count with Omega, it's kind of crazy to even say out loud. I think Asajj Ventress is going to train Omega to be a quote-unquote Jedi. It just kind of sounds so weird, but it also makes me excited. How is she going to come in to the show? We also know Fennec Shand is going to show up. My queen, the love of my life. I'm so excited for her. And if she is sent by Lama Su or, Hemlock, that would be really scary. So I know she doesn't work directly with the Empire, but Hemlock has his ways, so I wouldn't be surprised. Or even Emery. Emery might take the initiative and contact Fennec Shand. So a lot of different things that are going on with Bad Batch, but I'm really enjoying it. At the end of the day, that's what's important. And as I said, love it. Just let me know if you guys want a break in between the Bad Batch craziness. I guess spoilers. I love how I'm acting like my life is a TV show. But I am going to Star Wars Night. Yay! I'm going on April 25th. So let me know if you guys are going, because that would be super cool. And I will be cosplaying, officially announcing that I will be cosplaying as General Hux. And I'm really excited. I got someone that was just amazing to make my costume for me, to get all of my measurements, and I'm so happy to be cosplaying again. I have cosplayed as Kylo Ren for the last 3 to 4 years, and I love him. He's one of my favorite characters, but I think it's time to do a little mix up. And of course, y'all know I can't go an episode without mentioning my boy, and so I get to cosplay as him during an event, and I get to go to Galaxy's Edge and kind of do all of that stuff. So I am really excited, but I did go last year, and there were pros and cons to the event. So if anyone has any questions, put them down in the comments, and I will try to answer them next video if I do the I think I'm just going to say I'm going to do the Star Wars Night video next week, because I'm so excited, and I do want to talk about last year's and some of the problems that arose. But yeah, I don't know. I don't plan anything. Y'all know this. We have kind of a schedule, but I like doing kind of, hey, I'm feeling like this. Let's mix it up. So, let me know what you guys think of that. But anyway, thank you all for listening and taking the time out of your day to tune in, and I will see you